What's up? Welcome to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast and channel. Thanks for being here, being subbed. If you're not, hit the button. And if you're listening on YouTube, hit that like. It's like walking in the room and hitting that light switch. Let's brighten up the place and get into this conversation.
There's something on my mind.
Hey, you guys. Welcome back to the Being Beautifully Honest podcast. Listen, I just want to get into this real quick because this is something that I had been wanting to talk about, honestly, for quite some time. And I touched on it a little bit here and there when I've done other discussions about TGIF on Fox Soul and Funky Dineva's exit from the platform and from the show. But just a number of things just really hadn't been adding up to me when it comes to the claims. And while it really isn't any of my business, and I honestly don't care that much, but because it was public, I'm talking about it. And because if you know how a lot of these networks are, sometimes, especially when it comes to these housewife shows and as reality show characters or whatever, unless it's something that was just outright egregious, they normally are not going to tell you that they fired someone. A lot of times it's just they didn't renew their contract, or they will allow them to spin the narrative of what they want people to believe, because it's not like they don't want the people to be able to move on for the most part and be able to sustain themselves. But unless it was something like, just giving an example, The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, that chick that was on that one season, I believe she was Vietnamese, her name was Jenny Nguyen. And they literally came out and said they fired her. And there were so many horrible posts that she had out all over social media where it was almost like they never should have hired her in the first place. So it was almost like bad production. We really should have done our research to see that this was not going to be a good fit for the show. Even if it is filmed in Utah, which if you know what recently happened there, it's not one of the most diverse states, if you know what I mean. But with that being said, she never should have been a part of the cast, especially there being a black woman who is part of the cast that was really experiencing the microaggressions coming from her and a lot of the racist rhetoric that she was spreading across social media prior to her being on the show. So they really just came out and said, yeah, she's fired. But a lot of times with some of these people, they're not going to really admit that that person was fired. Like Kenya Moore. She's not coming back, but I haven't seen anywhere where Bravo came out to say she is fired. They said they decided not to continue filming with her for the rest of that season. And she's not, I believe, coming to be on season 17. But I still haven't seen anything where they came out and said, yeah, we fired her. So I just wanted to talk about some of the things, like his claim of quitting over $250, seeing as if he was making $250,000 a year that he claims that he was making. Quitting over $250 just honestly doesn't really make sense or add up. Or saying, well, I said either pay me an extra $250 or put me on the health insurance. It's like, if you really were someone worth holding on to for that small amount, why wouldn't they do it if they did not want to just go ahead and release him? And there were a number of on-air controversial moments that it did rub people the wrong way. So look, one of the most notable moments that was extremely controversial for him on that platform was the remarks that he made about Khloe Bailey. Now, a lot of people were just disgusted with his commentary. They felt like it went too far. It crossed the line of critique and it just went into flat out disrespect. Khloe supporters and even Khloe Bailey, she didn't call him by name, but Khloe and Haley, they did make some references in regards to what he said about her on social media. So it definitely got a lot of traction. And when he came back and did an apology, it really wasn't like an apology, and it really looked like he was forced to come back and let people know that he crossed the line and he went too far, but he really didn't look happy about it. And not saying that when you're apologetic about something that you're always going to look remorseful, but it really looked like he had no choice but to do this, do it, or you're done. So that's what it appeared to be. Not saying that's exactly what happened, but there were definitely people that were outraged by it. There were people that were calling for a boycott of TGIF, saying, get rid of him. We're going to boycott until you get rid of him. I've even been in some people's lives where I saw the chat and even saw Claudia Jordan in a few people's chats. So, and she was actually going hard for the women and for Khloe, and also for her job, because this was something that was affecting her too. And she couldn't necessarily control the words that were coming out of his mouth. And if you saw that live, or if you watched the replay when that happened, you could tell by the expression on Claudia's face where it really looked like she was extremely uncomfortable and just kind of knew, okay, yeah, we're going to have a meeting about this later. This is not going to go well. So a lot of fans of the show, they got fed up and they decided, look, you need to get rid of him or we're going to be tuning out. So I do believe that was something that affected him greatly on the network. I don't believe it was just like, oh, all is well. He came, he apologized, moving on. But a lot of black women, that was actually the primary viewing audience of that show, just really was fed up and tired of the disrespect that they feel that a lot of black women get on a regular basis across social media anyway. You have the Manosphere, the Black Manosphere, whatever you want to call it. And then some people feel like there is this community in the LGBTQ community that really do not care for women, black women, and they feel attacked. A lot of times they feel like they're getting replaced, they're getting disrespected, they're being called terms that they don't want to be called, like sis and fish. And those are terms that Funky Dineva uses, and a lot of people did not like it. So I'm just saying, this is just one of the main primary controversial issues that he dealt with when he was on that platform.
Why on earth would they talk about Khloe like this?
I can officially say I don't like her. Khloe Bailey is so goddamn lame to me. First of all, girl, you were Miss Preppy Ashley from the suburbs. Then you came out, you was being all promiscuous and shit. And then now you trying to be a gangster. None of it is fucking believable, girl. None of it is believable. And I'm probably gonna catch a lot of backlash for this. And without that makeup, she ain't cute. She should have never showed up on that camera with that fat ass face without no makeup. She ain't cute. You're not believable. You're so goddamn inauthentic. That's why your shit ain't selling.
Well, I'm going to say that when the hate don't work, they start telling lies. It has to be the first sentiment of anything I say, because I'm just so shocked. Not even necessarily by the fact of everything he said was shocking, or everything they said was shocking. I don't know their pronouns. But the ugly part was just sheer vitriol. It was just sheer vitriol. Like, there was no reason for that. It wasn't called for. He even started the video saying, I know this is about Halle, but I'm just going to go on this random rant about Khloe. And to me, it's less about gender, right? To me, it's more about the fact that there's an older generation of femmes, and I've talked about this on Let Me Stay Focused, that are just like, they have hater in their fucking blood. This was the most hater shit I've ever seen, and I just don't even understand why you would even fucking say that.
First of all, I don't know why Fiona from Shrek brought this to the internet and not down to the police department, okay? Second of all, her husband had every right to cuss her mule looking ass out, because why would you block him on your way going out the thought and bop all across the town? And number three, Hazel-Lee, Betty Wright said having a piece of man is better than having no man at all. And in your case, you better hold on to any piece of man you can get, cause around mama, you know what I'm saying? That face and that body is not giving what needs to be gave. So you need to hold on to your love, in the words of Switch. And I'm gonna let her off easy tonight, like Sunday morning. I'm gonna let her off easy. But baby, if you know like I know, you better hold on to you. Listen, it's a damn shame. She's talking about taking care of him. I mean, when you look like her, you have to think of a man in order to keep him. And for those of y'all who gonna get down in the comments and say, It's so disgusting the way a man's talking about her woman and talking about her looks. I don't care. I don't like her. I never will. And when she tried to get on Iyama and clean up that statement about light-skinned women versus black-skinned women, as far as I'm concerned, Hazel E can go to hell twice. As far as I'm concerned, I don't see it for her. I never will. And I'm going to end it right there. Before, white women are the most crafty species that has ever existed. I am totally convinced that there is a finishing school out there for white women that teaches them in the 3rd grade the power of their tears, and in the 4th grade escape and accountability, because that's what this is, a total escape from accountability. Instead of just saying, I was fast in the ass, I was a whore, I like BBC, I wanted to fantasize and experience what they do in the porno, I like laying it low and spreading it wide, I'm trying to make only extra money on OnlyFans, my husband wasn't pleasing me, I was born to be a slut, I'm sex positive. All these different things she could have said. She could have even said, cause me so horny. There's so many different things she could have said. But now, all of a sudden, she's America's vanilla princess, and none of it is my fault. When my panties ended up around my ankles in the broom closet, none of it was my fault. When they pulled it to the side and slid through, none of it was my fault. When I cheated and went against my vows on my husband, none of it was my fault. It was all the big, black, scary wolf's fault. Are you kidding me? And the sad part about it is the white man is the number 2 most crafty creature on this planet, because he rather stand behind her and believe that so he can hold his head up high in the church and in the community versus divorcing his hubby and letting his homeboys know on the golfing court that his wife got ran through by a bunch of black men and Spanish men, and she's now tarnished. Instead, nope, I'm standing by Mayonnaise Mary because she was assaulted and groomed, playing into all type of racial tropes. I'm just not here for it. I'm a little mad at eBay. Maybe she needed to go to Poshmark or one of them other fashion resellers or whatever the case may be. But listen, there's already a platform for this. What's the website that Hazel E sold her animal smelling panties on?
You know what? I don't know. I think I don't know. I'm not.
Was it like
What are animals smelling? What are animals smelling?
Because you know I don't like her, so was it like barnyardfunk.com or something like that? Like, well, listen, wherever the hell Hazel E sold hers, Lotto can go over there and sell it, because clearly there is a market and the technological infrastructure already set in place to sell used garments. But you want to know what's funny? I just question. Here's what's weird, right? Because I don't think too many people in Lotto's age bracket has $90,000 discretionary dollars to buy her panties. So I'm just curious to know the demographic and the profile of the man who's spending $90,000 for Lotto's used panties.
It could have been a
Parker is receiving backlash after tweeting some insensitive remarks regarding Kathy's former lawsuit against Diddy. In one tweet, she wrote, "I'm sorry, but I don't get it. I used to be 19 and I was in the industry and I was quite capable of saying no." And she added, "I'm trying so hard to see the victim here, but the sex slaves usually get to pick their sex partners in 5-star hotels." Do you think Paula was out of line for those tweets?
She absolutely was out of line. And you were once 19, but you was never as cute as Cassie. And I hope that you were sending those tweets from a dentist's office, because the bottom of your mouth looked like a picket fence with all them gaps in between your teeth. And please, let's not forget, baby, you was sex trafficked too. The difference is you was in a La Quinta Inn with that broke ass, crack smoking looking Negro allegedly called your husband on their TV show. You was smutted out by Carlos King and looking just as washed up at 40 as you was with 19 with the messed up teeth. It's how dare you even do something like this. Paula need to go to Dr. Heavenly Jai Parker. And the only thing we ever know you for is you ain't got the lie, Craig, and the rest of your life has been one big lie. This is tacky. This is insensitive. You are wrong. And if on no other level than being a female, you should have kept your gap tooth, gingivitis having mouth closed. I don't think there's anything else that should be said at this point. Except going to the next thing, Claudia.
I'm gonna be very honest with you. I don't care that Kevin Samuels died. I straight up honestly do not care. And I think that expecting people to take the moral high ground in this situation, when he joyfully and willfully terrorized so many Black women, feeding them abuse under the guise of truth, is just a bunch of BS. There's no moral high ground here for me to take. I honestly don't care. I feel bad for his mom. I know I'm about to say something that's going to sound very misogynistic, and I just have to say it. Who would want to trade in all this male privilege to be a damn woman in this society? You know what I'm saying? It's just, I don't know. It's personal for me because I get it all the time. And it's like, Black women think that's their ace in the hole when they throw that card. And I just be sitting here laughing like, I promise you I don't want to be a woman. I promise you I don't.
So Q, I want to take this as a learning moment because I'm on.
You can't deny that in recent years, a lot of the trends that have been adopted by women have been set by the gays. Although the gays got the fashion game from the women, they perfected it. They've taken it to the next level and are now in turn, y'all gonna beat me up for this, but reteaching y'all how to even be better at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, the gays have redefined femininity, you know.
I used to be a fan of Funky Dineva. That all changed in the last 24 hours. Heading over to YouTube to unsubscribe to his channel as well as Fox Soul. Deuces.
Like, Funky, what is going on? I've been following Funky since he been doing those, housewife reviews, since he been wearing his wigs, and since he was doing that Coca-Lina, okay? That's how far back I've been following Funky over on YouTube on his channel. I absolutely feel like the comments that he gave and the remarks that he made about Khloe Bailey was absolutely uncalled for and unfounded. Like, what was the reason? What was the real reason? Were you having a bad day, an off day? What happened to unlocking your better self? I was just overall confused at how vicious and how irate he was about this entire situation. It was like your whole read was off. And this all stemmed from her basically on her live jokingly choosing not to answer any comments on her little sister, who people are spreading rumors about a pregnancy based off of a video of her walking through a background. And common sense would tell you she was just over at Beyonce concert over and down to Atlanta with T.S. Madison and Candy and them taking pictures in front row seats. And she did not look pregnant in any of those said pictures. So to one, double down on the fact that you dissected the video and it's your summation that she's pregnant and she's lying, sounding so entitled, like even if she was pregnant, that y'all or that we have a right to be intrusive and we demand that she tells us the truth about her being pregnant. That's insane. And then getting upset because as a big sister, I'm protecting my little sister, and I'm just letting y'all know I'm not addressing any of that. And since when has using slang words or saying period been considered being from the hood or the ghetto? Like, I just really didn't understand where he was coming from all that. It's one thing to just not like someone, and I get a lot of people don't like Khloe or she rubs them the wrong way, but to viciously attack her the way that he did was just, I just couldn't believe it. It was just unnecessary. And that definitely comes from a place of internalized misogyny. And then I'm seeing, of course, people on YouTube and, doing their video content and bringing up other situations where he made comments and remarks and was very harsh on Black women specifically, and the other statements that he made, including calling little Blue Ivy at the time ugly. And that shit wasn't funny. And I think low-key that was during the time that he said that. But either way it goes, I absolutely feel like you can't have internalized misogyny and misogynoir and not hate black women, because that's literally the definition of the word. And he needs to work on addressing why he has issues towards black women and why you judge them to a standard that you don't seem to judge other people or other groups of people for that matter. You have black women that hate black women. So you have black women who has internalized misogyny and will spew out hatred and talk very degrading and with venom in their mouths towards black women, that hate to see black women in joyous situations, happy, living in a life of luxury, living a soft girl life when she isn't afforded to. So if we know that that can be true, then absolutely I feel that it can be true about Funky, and that was absolutely misogyny speaking, and he needs to check that at the door, and he owed that girl a private apology as well as a public one, which I believe he apologized to her publicly, but you know, that's just semantics. But yeah, that whole situation was a hot mess.
Funky Dineva, first you came on your platform and said you wanted to remain respectful towards the family. Now it's fuck her, because you said everything but fuck her. This is why I was looking at people sideways when they were prioritizing Letitia Scott's feelings over Keke Jabbar's immediate family, her husband, her kids, her best friends that she spoke to me about all the time. I was looking at y'all sideways because y'all do not. In my mind, you know, in my opinion, I feel like now, even in death, we're going to prioritize how Letitia feels about Keke's death. And he just validated everything that I've been saying. Them people never gave a fuck about Keke. Is Letitia on the phone telling him, hey, respect our privacy. Please don't speak no more about Keke. Fuck no. So for you to get on your platform and say that you don't feel no way about her death, nobody asked you. Nobody asked you how you motherfucking felt, because nobody cared. Another thing I was talking about recently on my platform is about how when people unalive themselves, we don't memorialize them or grieve them the same as somebody that died from natural causes. A battle is a battle, and we don't really know how Keke Jabbar left this earth because we don't have an autopsy. So you're getting your information from the Scotts, right? The very thing that her uncle has asked for her to stop doing, which is pass information to these bloggers. So they're well within their rights if they take to their platforms and curse your ass the fuck out, because that was disrespectful and unwarranted. I will see y'all on my YouTube in a few hours.
So fucking heated. I don't give a fuck about that show. Y'all have me fucked up. Bitches always speaking on me, bitch. What's up? I'm so mad. I'm so fucking mad.
Again, you know, I tell people as much as I can, you are not the reason the show ended. It is, stop blaming Armand Wiggins. I mean, you saw what it was.
And having had worked there, a lot of the things that he was saying, he had not even been there long enough to experience or even know what the fuck he was talking about.
No, bitch, you don't know what the fuck you talking about, bitch. Don't tell me what the fuck I'm talking about, bitch. These girls have gassed you up because you came in wearing these wigs and this fucking lipstick. You let them gas you up. Bitch, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. I know exactly what I'm talking about because half the shit you was telling me, bitch.
Child, the aftermath of the show has been more entertaining than the show itself. Let me give you a quick little 1-minute breakdown. So, earlier this week, Funky Dineva went on Messy Carlos King's show, you know, the former Real Housewives producer, and Funky Dineva spilled all the tea on the TGIF drama. He included in there that basically he felt that Armand's immaturity is what committed to the downfall of the show. Armand, of course, caught wind of this and went on his own show crying and upsetting his makeup, hurt that Funky Dineva would say this about him. So then Funky Dineva responded, going on his own show, basically saying, you're proving my point by lashing out and acting up and being childish.
And like, people are watching. So now it's, he's volatile. He's going to be uneasy to work with. Whenever we hire him, he's going to go off of the deep end.
You were supposed to remain professional and demure, very cutesy. Armand, going on there and reading Funky Dineva like that was not very mindful. Now, to Funky Dineva's credit, he did reach out to Armand via text once he saw Armand's emotional response, right? But then it boiled over even more when receipts dropped of the Zoom calls of TGIF where Al Reynolds went off on the producer. And I know exactly who leaked the receipts. Follow me for part 2.
Why y'all got so much smoke for Khloe Bailey, child? This time just for defending her sister? Let's get into it. So if y'all don't already know, child, YouTuber Funky Dineva criticizes Khloe Bailey for defending her sister. Here's what he had to say.
Khloe Bailey, and I know this story is about Haley. I can officially say I don't like her. Khloe Bailey is so goddamn lame to me. First of all, girl, you were Miss Preppy Ashley from the suburbs. Then you came out, you was being all promiscuous and shit, and then now you trying to be a gangster. None of it is fucking believable, girl. None of it is believable. And I'm probably gonna catch a lot of backlash for this. And without that makeup, she ain't cute. She should have never showed up on that camera with that fat ass face without no makeup. She ain't cute. You're not believable. You're so goddamn inauthentic. That's why your shit ain't selling. All right, that's number one. Number two, I don't like people playing in our face. Right, the girl is clearly pregnant.
I just want to know where the hostility came from, child, because I really want to know this. You came for Khloe like she slapped your damn grandma. Miss Girl, Miss Mamas, girl, what's going on? And I like Funky Dineva. You know, sometimes sis be having some points, but like other times, child, your takes be piss poor at best. But honestly, it's not just him. It's a lot of people that really be coming for Khloe Bailey just for the simplest thing is defending her sister, and this constant pitting against these two, like, oh my goodness, like Holly is doing so many things and Khloe is flopping. Like, it's so corny to me that I see this on the internet. And while y'all over here pitting them against each other, they're going to continue to hold each other down, period. Love the response.
All right, so here's the thing, guys. There were really a good bit of controversial on-air moments that really did rub people the wrong way over the years when it came to Funky Dineva, but clearly he had his following, and opinions are like you know what. Everybody has one. Sometimes people agree with your opinion, sometimes people don't. But even though the Fox Soul Network had a YouTube channel, Fox Soul was actually a network, and there was a whole lot more behind the scenes when it comes to accountability. So just because some things were funny to some people and some people may have agreed with some of the things that he said and done over the years, there were some things where he crossed the line that Al Reynolds and Claudia Jordan never did. There were a number of moments where he talked about things where it involved sex that he had in a lot of different precarious places with individuals. He was, for the most part, kind of graphic when it came to a lot of those sexcapades that he talked about on the show that you never heard really Al Reynolds and Claudia Jordan go there with that type of stuff, okay? And while he has a YouTube channel, and YouTube has become a bit more censored over the years than they used to be back in the day, a bit more can go when it comes to his own content than being on someone else's platform like Fox Soul that he was doing when he was doing a lot of things that he was doing, as well as rubbing some people the wrong way, ruffling feathers, the controversial comments that he said about Khloe Bailey and other women, and talking about the differences between men and women and a lot of the misogynistic things that he talked about. And again, like I said, some things some people may have agreed with. It doesn't mean that the network agreed. You may not have liked Kevin Samuels, but there's just some things you can't say when it comes to people's passing when you are on someone else's network. And again, like I said, a lot of people agreed with him and his opinions, but there were probably some people that didn't. And those are just a few examples. It's not everything. I don't have the type of time and research to go back and pull all of these things out of the archives when it comes to a lot of controversial things that he has said when he was on that show. So again, like I said, when it comes to him talking about he left over $250, if it was really worth it to keep him, and he's already making $250,000 a year, why would they not just pay him the extra $250 if it was really worth it for them to keep him there? So that's why I am of the opinion that maybe he did not get fired, but maybe that was their way of letting him go. Saying, you know what, your contract is up, and we just can't come to a place of a meeting of the minds to say, you know what, we agree with what you are asking for, and we're going to go ahead and get you those contract updates. So I believe it's definitely possible that Fox Soul, with their branding, they may have wanted to just go ahead and distance themselves from him and go in a different direction. So look, there are other people who really don't believe that he left on his own terms. And some people say he has a history of burning bridges. And not only having a history of burning bridges, but some people say that he, when has the opportunity to do so, blocks other people from having opportunities just simply because he has had a disagreement with that person in the past or doesn't particularly care for that person. So he has been instrumental in blocking other people from an opportunity and from getting a bag. Other content creators, and I'm not going to name them right now, but they know who they are. So guys, what do you really think? Do you believe that he was the one that walked away from Fox Soul, or did Fox Soul really walk away from him? Go ahead and drop your thoughts below, and let's just go ahead and get into it.